Just almost the light I can get. I need that. I need that. I don't need that. I need that. Ooh, nice and warm. All right, so welcome, you guys. Welcome. This is Just Sylvie. I am Just Sylvie, your rough edge lady. Come to bring you just a little bit of that 414, that one in the middle for some balance, because you see things this way, they see things that way. And if we come together for some effective communication, we just may be able to get a little bit of understanding one for another. It does not mean that we will agree or change our views about a thing, but it gives us a mutual respect for one another. I don't have to think like you. You don't have to think like me. Hi, I am good. How are you? Welcome. I appreciate you coming to sit with me for a spell. Yes. I hope you guys are starting off to a great week. It is Monday, second day of the week, first day of the work week, unless some of y'all work on Sunday, because that's a possibility as well. You feel me? So, yes, if your week has not started off too great, I hope that it gets better. I certainly hope that it gets better for you. Never say may. What do you mean? What did I say? What did I say May about that I'm supposed to never say it? I am awesome because of your face. Well, I appreciate that. That sounds like a... What's bad luck? May is bad luck. May not. Why is May 19th? Okay, wait a minute. Let me take one comment at a time. That sounds like a compliment, so I appreciate that compliment. I am awesome because of your face. Thank you. Now, what about this May 19th? What about May is bad luck? What are we talking about here? Give me some clarity. Let me know something. You might be giving me some content to talk about. Let's get it. What's wrong with May 19th? You just gonna leave it right there like that. You just gonna say don't say May, throw in the May 19th, and then just leave it right there. Thank you. I want WWE Junior. I am NWA for first and foremost. I'm old. I'm NWA and WCW, but WWE Junior. Kane gets angry when you. Are you serious right now? Thank you, Camilla Bay. Thank you. Camilla Bay said, I am so beautiful. I appreciate all of these kind words, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I would love it if y'all would like, share, and subscribe. We is about to get into it. We got a little bit of things to talk about tonight. The end of being what you see on that on my thumbnail, and that's Kendra G. That young lady's name is Jaquetta McAllister. We're going to talk about her just a little bit. No, you're not what? What I had said? What I say? What I say that got you saying no, you not? Well, you go. I like, but I can't subscribe because I can't do subscription. What you mean you can't do subscription? Why you can't do subscriptions? I appreciate you liking. That ain't no problem. But why you can't do subscriptions? Because subscriptions are free. Like, I subscribe to people for free. Like, is it the way maybe you have your account set up? I'm too good at Fortnite. Will I go well? You being for real? WWE Junior. Will I be what for you? You would goon to me. What does that mean? I would goon to you. What in the world does that mean? Yes, subscriptions are free. Camilla Bay, all you gotta do is hit subscribe. To join costs. If you see somebody wanting you to join their page, that costs. But to subscribe to the page is absolutely, positively for free. Yes, it is. Who is talking? I can't say no cuss words right now. Hi. What'd that say? The little red slaw. Y'all names be it for me. Y'all names be it for me. The little red sloth. Hi, little red sloth. But let's get into some of these things and stuff right here. I'm gonna start off. I ain't gonna start off right here. This is just a warning to the wise, where I'm going to start off at. And that is, I was watching Dynamic Reasons channel. If y'all want to go check out the Dynamic Reasons, y'all can subscribe to his page. Most of his content is, I have to have a better way to get my stuff together. Where's that? Give me a minute, y'all. Wait a minute, how I jump to that? Okay, well, I know what I was going to talk about anyway, because I can't find it right there. So I'm watching the Dynamic Reasoning channel, and this mom is in the courthouse because her baby just got sentenced, her teenage baby. Let me keep my glasses on because I'm going to try to make sure I'm interacting with the chat, and I can't interact with the chat if I take these glasses off. So we best keep these on. So, okay then. Mama's cool beans then. I don't know who's saying, I don't even know if that another language. Is that another language? She's saying sexuality dad. And it sounds like sexually inappropriate things. I don't see those comments unless I'm reading something and I'm not understanding that it's sexually inappropriate, actually inappropriate, because I'm not even supposed to be saying that. Because YouTube will mess around and take my video down, and that's no bueno. But anywho, so the mom is up here in the courthouse, and oh my goodness. And her baby is getting sentenced to 65 years. Teenage baby. You done talk some other teenage babies into going out here robbing and stealing and unaliving. And so the mom is in the courthouse because her baby just got sentenced to all these years, and she is flipping the script on the officers of the court. And then when the camera comes to her, she says that she has a right to flip on these folk because they just sentenced her baby to 65 years. Let me tell you something. You have a right to flip on those folks if that's what you choose to do. But you had a responsibility to train up a child in the way that they should go. I'm not going to say that she did or didn't do that. But somewhere along the line, something went awry because your baby felt that it was okay to go out here and not only rob, steal, and unalive people, but influence others into doing it as well. Sips coffee. It's not even that hot anymore because I was sitting here trying to get this live together. Right. So where's the accountability? This page, if you watch it for any amount of time, you'll understand that this page is big on accountability. Hey there, hey there, hey. Kang say bio. Kang say bio. This page is about accountability. And there was no accountability in that mom just getting up there and flipping the script on the folk in the courthouse because you mad that your baby had to pay for something that he did. If you gonna do the crime, you needs and best be ready to do the time. Nah. Period. But let me tell you something. Because I was watching the lead attorney today. And he gave this mama the worst Mother of the Year award. Y'all want to know what she got the worst Mother of the Year award for? Because it looks as though everything up here that I be saying is allegedly because I don't want no smoke. But I do my research. So, one young lady, she go by the name of Bones. Never heard a young lady named Bones. So one young lady go by the name of Bones. Bones is outside in her community grilling because I don't remember which holiday it was. But the community loved Bones. You came to find that out. He'll show you the end of the video and then go back and rewind it and tell you how we got to that place. So you knew that the community loved Bones. Other young lady, incoming, Lucretia, is said to have went out there and got up in Bones' face about something. And they began to go back and forth because sometimes it happens. Sometimes somebody be ready for that smoke. Everybody is not going to turn away from the smoke. And sometimes you think that you're so big and bad that you can destroy the world, and you find out that you can't after you start that smoke. So she went out there and started that smoke with Bones and hit her first. Once you put your hands on somebody, and I don't care, like it or lump it, I say that about women to men. If you're going to put your hands on a man, lady, and this is coming from a lady that in the past has put her hands on a man. If you're going to put your hands on a man, you can't then say, I'm a lady, he's not supposed to hit me back. Why? that you hit, yeah, I'm pretty sure you stung them when you hit. And it can create a reflex that hits back. So she hit this young lady, and they began to brawl out there in the courthouse. And what I am going to assume by the way things went down, is Lucretia was getting her ass beat. Lucretia was getting her ass beat. You done went out there and created the smoke because you wanted the smoke, so you started the smoke. And then you couldn't handle what you went out there and created, what you went out there and started, what you went out there and was looking for. So guess what Mama of the Year did? Worst Mama of the Year. Guess what Worst Mama of the Year did? Worst Mama of the Year called her baby. She was this many years old. 10. She was a whole 10 years old and told that baby, go in my pocketbook and get that gun, pow, pow. And pow, pow her. Go in my pocketbook and get that pow, pow. And pow, pow her. Who telling their baby to do that? Because generally what you tell your babies to do, if you have raised your children in a house where they understand that if I say it, you better do it, they're going to do it, especially if they see you getting hurt. So you go and you call this baby to go in your purse and fight your battles. Who does that? Mind blown. Who does that? Because now the community is at the baby because they ran in the house after the baby powder. Y'all, I still be trying to work on trying to make sure I be saying things like YouTube want me to say things, because I don't be wanting them to take my video down, because they will take a video down. I have gotten videos taken down before, and I am just a little gal out here on these scenes. They will come looking for you. They was looking for the baby. Not even the mama who told her to do it. They was looking for the baby. They had so many horrible words, and I understand. I get it. My prayers go out to the family of Bones, because her baby came out there on that scene and lost her mind. Her man was already out there on the scene. The whole entire neighborhood was out there, and they wanted to get in that apartment where that baby was. If they'd have got in there with that baby, they would have unalived that baby. You probably wouldn't have been thinking about her mom like that. You'd have unalived that baby because they was after the baby because she the one pulled the trigger. By the time it was all said and done, there was a neighbor out there that was so amped. He kept telling the cops, get off me, man, don't touch me, because I do this to you and I do that. By the time it was all said and done, that was about a 40-minute video, the cops arrested him. I remember watching the lead attorney once before, and he said sometimes in your passion, and all I kept saying is I know he passionate because he probably loved her too, like the community loved her. And now she's laying on this ground with a gunshot, a wound in her chin and a wound in the back of her head. First they just said the chin. Later on in the video they was like the back of the head. So she's laying here in front of all these people that love her. He says sometimes that emotional person that's a friend or connected to the victim can go to jail because, or if it is a victim that might not be unalive, but you're a victim in the case and you so amped, they trying to situate the case, you're so amped, they're going to take you to jail. So they wound up taking him to jail. He wound up getting an open container charge, and then was trying to plead out of the open container charge while they were taking him in the car. You had all that smoke for the cops this whole 40 minutes. Now you want to be begging that they don't give you the charge that if you would have just... And all I said is he owns something. And I really, in my heart of hearts, I felt like it was just alcohol. I don't know if he was on any narcotics, but it seemed more of like a drunk slur that was going on with him. And at the end, he got an open container charge. The mama got 5 years. And the baby, And because I keep getting to say hi from you, so I think I be making sure you know that I'm saying hey, and trying to stay on point at the same time. But the baby, he said that she was, when I say that baby was, when they finally got them out of the house, the baby was all to pieces. She was all to pieces. She only did it to protect and be obedient to her mother, who then wanted to ask the cops, what y'all charging me with? What y'all charging me with? She got charged. Oh man, I forgot all that part to notate the charges that she got. Aggravated use of a weapon, because people were like, how she get aggravated use of a weapon and she didn't use the weapon? He said in Florida, it can be because you used the weapon or because you put the order out. I talked about a case on Facebook that went down in Florida. And the girlfriend, in that case, it was a young lady and her girlfriend. They had planted a gun, a pow-pow, across the street from the house. And the young lady came out the house with a bat because the other girl said, I'm getting ready to go see her in Sanford. So she left her hometown, came to Sanford. If she would have went up to the house, it would have been self-defense. But because the young lady came out of her house and out of her yard and into the middle of the street with the bat and planted the gun, and then her girlfriend said, go get the pow pow. Look, I don't be doing good at it all the time. Go get the pow pow and let her have it. The girlfriend went to jail too. So it was both in Florida. Like you that's like putting out a hit on somebody. You just put out a hit, but you put out a hit. Girlfriend, okay. Mama, daughter, 10-year-old daughter? You had your 10-year-old daughter? You had your 10-year-old daughter take that woman out. And now the lead attorney is saying that she's in the custody of juvenile detention, and she'll be put in a juvenile program. He said there's no specific time of how long she'll be in this program, but his concern is if she comes back out to the public, what they're going to do to her, because they blame her and not the crazy mama. He was like, I believe the mom. He said, I believe the baby shouldn't have got no time, and the mama should have got life without the possibility of parole. And I don't say that I don't agree. If you were gonna give the 10-year, you saw how erratic. That girl almost had me in tears when I was watching that video. He was astonished, and he laughed through a lot of his videos. He's a clown, not particularly unaliving videos, but he's an attorney, so he is reacting to crimes that go on. And sometimes they get a little bit out of hand, even if they don't come to unaliving. But he be laughing. I be laughing, messing with his crazy tail. But he didn't even really laugh through this one because it was a shame and a scandal. Because that baby wouldn't have did it. She wouldn't have went in that pocketbook and took that woman out without her mama. The worst mama of the year award goes to, what was her name again? Lucretia. Lucretia, you got that, baby. They're gonna get in the jailhouse telling the cops don't touch you. Y'all, I mean, she was amped with the cops. Like, you didn't just put a hit out on somebody through your 10-year-old baby girl. Where your marbles at? Where is the marbles at? Okay, y'all, now we're gonna talk about Granny. Then I'm gonna get into this word. And once I get into this word, we're gonna talk about from Kendra G to this. We gotta talk about Granny first, because this page is about ladies. And I think that sometimes people might just think it's about ladies that look like this, but that's not what this page is all about. The God said this page is for the ladies, the young ladies, the old ladies, the this kind of ladies, the that kind of ladies. If they look any other color, the ladies. Any other nationality, the ladies. That's what this page is for. So Granny is over here sitting on her porch, right? We're going to talk about the privilege of the whites. Granny is sitting on her porch, and her neighbor got her some babies, And they be in the backyard and they be playing. And it was never proven, but she said that it's always smelling like marijuana over there. So it sounds like they may go out. Glad to have you back, WWE. I appreciate you coming back to set a spell. So it sounds like they may smoke their herb on the back porch, which when I was smoking, I didn't always smoke in the house. I didn't want to smoke in my house, so sometimes I would smoke outside. Your name is Junior. Well, you say WWE Junior. So you just want me to refer to you as Junior? I can do that. Because I wasn't putting the Junior up there. So I apologize. Check me, boo. Check me, boo. So they smoked outside. So Granny was not really keen on people that look like me. So the babies is over there playing in the backyard. And Granny decides that she is going to let them know that she is not scared. Scared of what? I don't know, because the babies were just over there playing in the backyard. So she decides that she is going to go get her bear mace and miss the air into the other yard that is fenced, that these babies are playing on their parents' property. And the babies ingested that. And they called the cops. And it's not the first time they've called the cops. But when the cops got there, Granny was standing there like they came to be her saviors. Like they were there on her behalf. Y'all, I'm so glad those cats act like they wanted to get on up away from here, because just call me Cat Lady. My cousin just sent me a video talking about these is your cats. It's two. Every time I'm walking to the bus stop, someone is asking me, is that your cat? And I'm like, she made herself mine. She's been coming over here for the last year. I feed her. And then she started bringing a friend. And so my cousin sent me the video, like it's going to be about 20 of them before it's all said and done. No, it's not, because I will not feed all of them. My name is not Bernice. Bernice was my grandmother, and she fed the cats, and she loved her cats, and she probably had close to 20 of them. Like, none of them came to her house, but she made sure those cats ate good on a regular basis. That just clicked in my brain because the cats was just out here just going at it. I had to go knock on the window and tell them to shut that noise out. You're not going to be out here just, they be fighting. But anywho, so back to Granny. So she's talking to the cops like she believes that the cops are there and they are going to get reprimanded, meaning the neighbors are going to get reprimanded because you done sprayed mace on the people. And she was like, well, they're always threatening me. They're always telling me to kiss their ass because they're going to do like this, and then they're going to do like this, and they're going to point at me. They're always telling me. He said, well, have you ever called and made a report about it? She said, no, but it's harassment. He said, it's hard to prove as harassment. But in order that we prove it as harassment, you have to call and report it every time it happens. She waived her right to remaining silent. She just talking. So she wound up telling them that she sprayed the mace on them. Like you just talking yourself into them handcuffs. And then got mad when they put her in the handcuffs because she felt like they were coming there. And one of them were that color and one of them were that color. But the cops are her friend. The cops ain't there to help her. That's the way she, and I'm not racist. I have black friends and I know black people, and I'm going to say it like the video that I posted last night, and I love me some Brandy, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But I say that about just about anything that you have to say that you are or you're not. Character really speaks for itself. Character does not find that one has to walk around saying, I'm humble, I'm saved, I'm nice, I'm not a racist. Character doesn't do that, because character, you You see that young lady? If y'all go back through that chat, that young lady said, I like your personality. I promise you. I don't put on, look, that's why my page growing slowly. God told me, grow organically. Meaning don't go out there and be involved in all of the hoopla and all of the craziness and all of the drama and all of the ratchetness to grow your page. And it's growing slowly but surely. I have just been working at this since 2021. And I just became more serious about it. And I'm still getting serious. I'm still getting my grind back on because I fell off a little bit. I was going live 3 days a week faithfully, 3 to 4 days a week faithfully. And then life happens because sometimes life be life and life just be life and sometimes. And then I fell off a little bit. But I watched the way that my chat is now interacting with me. Thank you guys when I come live. I watch the way that my engagement is changing because I become more faithful to posting my content. And I got a lot of content out there. But God has recently, and that can be a little discouraging. That's why I was getting ready to say, God has recently showed me a few pages that put out a lot of content, including one huge platform that I watch. O'Shea Duke Jackson. He said he got a lot of videos and he's been at it for 10 years. And, you know, I ain't saying it took him 10 years to grow because he's been big for a little bit. He was like, he's been doing this for 10 years. So I've only been doing this for 5 years. Excuse me, not even 5. 2021, 4 years. It'll be 5 in February. So I'm nearing 5 years. But good character does not need someone to speak for it. It speaks for itself. And I'm not saying that anybody who says that they are or are not something, that everybody is not like that. But it's challenge. I challenge you to find the people that really and truly deep down are what they got to say they are. I learned that as a little girl. As a little girl Christian. And you don't got to walk around and say you saved. Excuse me. If there were people in here with me, I would be doing it the proper way. But there is no one around me, so I ain't no germs going anywhere but to me. But anywho, you don't have to say that you're saved. You don't have to say that you're a Christian. And I just been talking that for the last 2 weeks at my church. The Bible studies that it's saying it. My pastor told me to be intentional with the words when I read the scripture. From my last church when I was still with the Baptist church and I was there for 13 years. He said, even down to the punctuation. I just went on Facebook the other day and was like, do y'all know that these names of Jesus, they two different names, wonderful, comma, counselor, comma, mighty God. Wonderful is a name. Counselor is a name. If you choose to put them together, it's on you. But because my pastor told me to pay attention like that, I be paying attention. Commas mean that we getting ready to start another thought. Not another sentence, but another thought. So I've been saying, good character shows on you. Christianity is a self-evaluation walk. It is not out here trying to save the people because you're telling them a whole lot of Bible scripture and That's what I said I was going to talk about before I read this word. Because I'm going to call Evangelist Robin. Because I do believe that the Most High God evangelizes through that woman who goes up to the bus stop and sits there every day. When I got off the bus yesterday, she said, oh, I run into you again. Because the first time that I was down there, she came down there and the young man was behind me. And I heard him fiddling with his things. I be trying to mind my business because everybody don't just like for you to just be all up in their business. But I saw him and heard him fiddling with his suitcase. But I didn't know that he was behind me distraught. When she came up, she said, you okay? He was like, no. He said, my wife was unfaithful. I was like, whoa. And I turned around at this point, he crying. Real tears. He's crying real tears. She said, can I give you a word from God? And she sat there and she laid the scriptures down. She laid the scriptures down. And I looked at her and I said, Lord, she been through a thing. And when I talked to her yesterday, she said she don't look like what she been through. She might not. I'm pretty sure she don't. But you can still look at her and tell that she's been through a thing. Probably looks a lot better than the thing that she's been through. But yesterday she spoke on having been an addict. And God having told her that she has unforgiveness. I said, so that's why I said, Lord, we can preach many scriptures as we want to preach to the people. If we are not evaluating ourselves, there is no spiritual growth for us. So if there is no spiritual growth for us, what are you really doing to the people except for giving some scripture? I'd rather be like that young man that was in my Sabbath school lesson week before last, where he went over across the water and he just served the people for 3 whole months. He ain't say one single thing about a Bible verse. That's the kind of testimony I like to give. That's what my old coworker came back to me months after I stopped working with her. She came to my birthday party 6 or 7 months after I stopped working with her. And she said, you led me to Christ. And I was like, whoa. Because anybody that knows me know I'm going to talk about God because I love God. You don't love God? What's wrong with you? Hey, my bad. That's the first time I broke out into, I don't own the rights to any of this music since I've been live. Okay, I broke out into a couple of songs by now. But anywho, she said that to me. It wasn't because I was trying to beat her head down with the scripture, but she understood and saw my life and heard me speaking about God as God works in my life, not trying to push God on her. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with giving people scripture and things like that. But we gotta be evaluating ourselves. If my people who are called by my name would humble themselves mean I gotta humble me, and you gotta humble you, and she gotta humble her, and he gotta humble themselves and pray and seek my face. That means I gotta seek God's face, and you gotta seek God's face. Self-evaluation, introspection, and turn from their wicked ways. That means y'all got it. Then, because the then tells you what God gonna do once we do what we supposed to do. So she comes and she's like, yeah, God told me I had unforgiveness in my heart. So she get to telling me, where the unforgiveness came from. Come from church hurt. Church hurt is a real thing. You church hurt is you hurting folks in that church because you think that you've arrived, that you good, that you can look at somebody. I said she been through a thing, but that ain't no reason for you to look at her with your nose down. I know so many church folk. Religiosity will let itself be known. So many church folk that's going to look at you like this because you look like you don't fit the bill. That woman probably got more Jesus in her pinky finger than some of them folks that she was dealing with in the church. Howsoever, if God said forgiveness, you got unforgiveness in you, you can't call the woman that hurt you and say, I wish you would ask me to forgive you. You might be waiting on that forever. You feel me? You might be waiting on that forever. That ain't what dealing with your unforgiveness is all about. Dealing with your unforgiveness is not allowing it to fester in you, not allowing it to weigh your spirit down, not allowing it to separate you from God because people did something. Places or things did something. That's what forgiveness is about. You can be physically ill She said that woman drove her back into the streets. No, because that means that there's no accountability to you. I know plenty folk that was addicts that also experienced church hurt that did not go back in the streets and become addicts. So no, that woman did not drive her back into the streets. So that's all I had to say about that. If somebody might have needed to hear something about some forgiveness, then you know, forgiveness, you got to deal with your unforgiveness within yourself. You can't impress that upon somebody. So we is about to read this Proverbs 30:9. Lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and I steal, and take the name of God in vain. Y'all know how I be talking about totally, and y'all probably don't, because it's probably the first time y'all been in my chat. But if anybody watches these videos any amount of time, I talk about living in the land of totally. That's over here and way over here. I say that, everybody knows that the far right is in the land of totally, but little ever do we speak about those people on the far left. They also are in the land of totally. We're talking a little bit of politics. I don't really do politics, but to let you know that the far right and the far left, I always say they similar whether they know it or not. You can't tell them that though, but this word will, especially for those that consider themselves Christians. I don't care if you're a far left Christian or a Christian nationalist, that be them far right Christians. Danger of the two extremes. Now, this is talking about prosperity, but trust and believe that it's character all the more. They both totally, I didn't put that. Oh, yes, I did. They both totally, and one gonna look their nose down on the other, while one is gonna be envious and jealous. The rich man gonna look his nose down at the poor man. The poor man gonna be all the time wanting what the rich man got, jealous of the rich man and hating the rich man, and y'all both is in a similar boat. Two opposite sides of the same coin. The evil of the impoverished, lest my necessities lead to dishonesty. False swearing, in denial of his theft, and to escape punishment or the arraignment of God's providence, which has also allowed him to fall into such distress. I said, what in the unaccountable? I want to do the crime, but not the time, blaming God. You let me do this. God in the world is going on. What? That's the impoverished. He is always on the verge of want. You always got your eye on the man that got all the money, and you want to be talking about what you would do if you get that money or that money, but you don't even know how to act. That's what my last scripture was speaking about. Better to be poor with some good integrity than poor in your mind with all that money. But you will swear up and down. There folks that'll swear up and down that they know exactly what they would do if they had all that money. It's going to talk about that too. Because I thought about it, and I love when I think about something and then God hits on it. Great evil of excessive poverty, moral in character. That's morale, and character. I said, hunger make you do some things. So I don't know if any of y'all listen to hip hop, but there's this rapper named Freeway. I'm pretty sure y'all might know Jay-Z. If you don't know Freeway, you might know Jay-Z. So Freeway was a part of Jay-Z's crew back in the day. It was all a part of the rock. Freeway was with Beanie Siegel. I think Beanie Siegel is in this song. And because I don't feel like trying to get the vibe right, I'm gonna just talk it out what he's saying. Cause the commentary said hunger make you do some things. I put it in my own words, but that's basically what they said. Said it'll bring out your wolf nature. Hunger make you bring out your wolf nature. So Freeway said, but without this drug, kids can't eat. Excuse me. But without this drug, kids ain't got no way to eat, huh? We still trying to keep mom smiling. Because when the teeth stop showing and the stomach start growling, then the heat start flowing. If you from the hood, you know I know you feel me. Keep going. If a sneak start leaning and the heat start working, then my heat start working. I'ma rob me a person. Catch a sleeping while he out in the open. And I'ma get him. Keep flowing. The wolf mindset. That's what total poverty will do to you. And let's make this clear. Black folk is not the only folks that live in total poverty. The Bible even makes excess for people who steal because they need money. It say that people gonna do it. It just say if you get caught, then you got to, you cannot, if you get caught, you cannot be saying, I swear it won't me. I swear I ain't do that. God, why you let me do that? God, you should have made sure I had some food. You have to take it like a man. Basically. Two opposite sides of the same coin. Why? Because the flip side is worse. It says poor men have no souls. But if the flip side is worse, let's talk about the evil of the wealthy. Being wealthy tempts you to forgetfulness of God. If the poor man is saying, God, why you let me do it? Then they ain't really forgetting God. They just blaming God. Now, the wealthy can know God, but they ain't gonna blame him. They just ain't gonna give him no credit for nothing. Because with the poor man, if things start going right, you probably gonna hear him be like, thank you, God. You just don't understand that in this life, there may be temptation. But we supposed to count it all joy, and I know that's not always easy, but it builds character. Like it's some stuff. Call me whatever kinds of fools or whatever you feel like you need to call me if you're not somebody that has a relationship with the true and the living God. Call me what you like. I can only tell you what I know. I can only tell you about the God that just kept me out of jail from a felony that wasn't even my fault in the first place. It was my fault, the accident. But I ain't tell me to get behind that wheel. I just chose to get behind that wheel, and I tried to protect the person that told me to get behind the wheel, and she threw me under the bus. You can't tell me about the God that kept that bullet that went through my refrigerator, my wall and my refrigerator, that did not hit me because it didn't go all the way through. Yeah, you can't tell me. You can't tell me nothing about the God that brought me 10 pair of earrings when I said within. I ain't got no earrings, God. With the church I had 10 pair. So that's neither here nor there. But being wealthy tempts you to forget God. There's all that self-confidence. God ain't do this for me. I did it. I got me rich. I got me this wife. I got me this husband. I got me this house. I got me this car. And it's possible that person could have started out with a knowledge of God or possibly in a relationship with God. But it tempts you to haughtiness. It goes on to say pure atheism, no belief. The temptation of riches is not very unlike that of poverty. Character, but more deadly. Both extremes tempt to worldliness, poverty to worldly care, riches to worldly satisfaction. I said the man that's in poverty is going to be caring about what the rich man got because you want that. And the rich man a lot of times can't get enough. I need more, 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 more. I really do need more. A little bit of Jay-Z beat. You ain't got enough. You is never satisfied. It's a proverb about that too. But riches goes further. It tempts a man to dispense God. I can do with God. I don't gotta have God. I can have him. I don't gotta have him. Yeah. We'll do a little shallow praise. He here, but I did it. Poverty tempts to theft, often, indeed, with extenuating circumstances. Extenuating circumstances means somebody can get hurt in the midst of your thieving. Riches tempts to scornful atheism. If the impoverished is blaming God, like I stated earlier, kind of means that they believe that there is a God. They just don't believe that God is doing them right. And if God don't have our mind and God don't have our thoughts and our ways, then how can we decipher if God is doing us right or not? But if we keep our mind on our eyes on our situation, instead of understanding, especially if you have come to a point where, you be all mad at God and all upset, and then God do something and you be good until the next thing happen. And then you mad at God all over again and upset, and then God fix it and you be good. What about God in that? That makes it seem like it's all about you, which is similar to the rich man. Says, men that are prospering in the flesh are often impoverished in the spirit. It says, and this is not to say that all poor folk is rogue, nor are all rich folk just the devil. It says that there can be wealthy people that do right by God, but it's hard. That's why when we think that when we think we could endure wealth without suffering. Rich man, eye of a needle, camel hump through. Biggie said more money, more problems. More money, more power. More money, more haughty. More money, more arrogant. All of those are temptations out there that even before you get the money, if you self-evaluate, you probably find some of those things in yourself. That's my whole thing about that trillion that Pastor Mike and B. Simone is out here talking about. They gonna take the trillion. Because they think we just gonna go out here and make more churches and do more this and do more that. It's really easy to say what you would do if you had all the money. But the verse before this is basically Agur, I think his name is, Agur, saying, Lord, don't give me all them riches. Don't give me poverty. Put me somewhere in the middle. Because in the middle there's wisdom. Give me enough. We ain't crying for the food, and I ain't sulking for the money. Just give me enough, God. The wisdom is going to settle for the middle because there's balance there. And it's not even really settling. Wisdom is going to be comfortable with the middle because there's balance there. And you don't know what the middle would be for God because, again, your thoughts are not God's thoughts. Neither are your ways God's ways. Now, I just want to ask a question and see if y'all know about these here things. Did I just not erase it? Oh, okay, there everything was. I'm so silly. Okay. And then we're going to talk about Jaquetta, and then I'm going to get on up out of here. So my sister has been sending me this thing called white passing. And if you understand what I'm saying, it's people that can pass. That has been a thing forever. So it tells you of some people that you may not have known were white passing. You just thought that they was the whites. Do y'all know a guitarist? I didn't know him, by the name of Saul Hudson. Slash is his stage name. He has been with a group called Snake Pit and a group called Red Velvet Revolver. And he made guest appearances with Iggy Pop and Alice Cooper. I know Alice Cooper. Slash was white passing. He was a British American musician. Y'all know that they're a very, very famous director of the of the FBI. He was out, back when Martin Luther King was out and about, and the Black Panthers. I think they said that he is the one that got the infiltration of the Black Panthers started. That man's name was J. Edgar Hoover. Did y'all know that he was not white? He was just passing. J. Edgar Hoover, white passing. I got one more white passing for you. Babe Ruth. I was poof mind blown on those last ones. Like I said, I didn't know Slash, but I always thought J. Edgar Hoover and Babe Ruth were white. They are not white. They are white passing. Y'all, I just made me some of the greatest vegetable soup. Oh my God. And I made some probably about a month and a half ago, but I didn't put like a little roux in it to thicken it up. I put that roux in there this time. Oh my God, my vegetable soup was banging. Let me tell you what kind of soup I don't want. Nat Turner soup. Did y'all know that it is said that they made soup out of Nat Turner? I Googled it. I didn't do a whole lot of research, but when I watched that video, I went to Google and I was like, Google, did they turn Nat Turner into soup? And Google said, there are historical rumors and accounts that parts of Nat Turner's body was made into soup. I'm just telling you what Google said. If you want to go and check out that Google, then go and check out that Google. Now let's talk about Miss Jaquetta. Before I talk about Jaquetta, I don't have my stuff together right now where I can just show y'all things. So I'm gonna let you hear what she said right here.
This is here forever. Your kids could see this one day.
Wait a
so
minute.
Know. You're live on the internet. This is here forever. Your kids could see this one day. So they'll know. They're gonna see a lot of things on the book. I'm going to be like the Kardashians. It's going to happen right now, but then about 5 minutes from now, it's going to be the next new hit. Like Ice Spice and Sexy Red. They ain't going to be here forever. That's who you want to be? Hell no. I'm me. No, I'm just telling you that everything is only temporary. I mean, like, all good things come to an end. That's what I'm saying. That is true. You're live on the internet. This is here forever. Your kids can see this.
So, y'all remember I was watching that Kendra G that time, and that woman was up there, and she said Sandra Bullock took her baby, and now we got Miss Jaquetta. So when I'm watching, and they like a little amp, I am always gonna go. Oh Lord. I am always going to go and check the comments, because she was so amped. She was excited that Kendra G picked her, even though Kendra is like y'all call in. So of course I don't know how it goes. It's a dating show though. It's a dating app, and I guess she picks people from the waiting room or what have you. So she's so amped that I go to the comments. By the time I went to the comments, she had made a statement. She was homeless. She was living in her car. She wanted a man though. And Kendra G will tell people when they are in extenuating circumstances, like the young lady that says she knew she didn't love herself. She said that twice. Kendra G was like, maybe you shouldn't be looking for a man right now. I'd give it up to Kendra G. I don't want no smoke, Kendra. I don't want no smoke. I give it up to Kendra G because she's going to tell someone, as she told her, maybe this is not the best time for you to be looking for a man. She was like, well, I am due a settlement. This was March. That show was March of 2023. I am due a settlement in October of $2 million. The lawyers are going to be taking 40%, so I'll be getting $1.4 million. By this time, I was in the chat, and the chat had the first comment I read was, I don't know if it was a good idea for her to be saying on a public platform that she was going to be getting a settlement, especially it being that large. She said, the person said, people are going to be trying to inbox her based off of knowing that, which the young lady wound up saying later in the show. Next comment I read said, it's unfortunate because she was found in her car in November, or found in her car in front of a fire station. I don't remember exactly. And that one sent me, whoa, what? So that got my tangles to flowing in my Larry Reid voice, and I just decided I was going to go start Googling. Yes. The month after, she said that she was hoping to have that settlement in October because her court date to go get her children was October the 19th. So she was hoping that she would have the settlement before then. They thought that she was lying. The chat thought, the cousins thought she was lying. So Kendra told her, the cousins thought she was lying. She was like, I'm not lying, I'm not lying. Claire Matrix. Go check it out. It's a treatment center. I had to go there for my baby. Kendra said for your baby, she picked up her alcohol bottle. Looked like it was Jose Cuervos. Said I had to go there for my baby. He said when I got there, the director of the detox department had my phone because they confiscate your phones. It's a part of the treatment. He saw my nudes in my phone and downloaded them to his phone. Hence the lawsuit. She said it's not a lie. You can go check it out. Now, I do know that there's a clear matrix. The next comment said, Kendra, you maybe should do people when they seem like they have mental challenges. You might want to end the call as you do when you find out someone is married so that you're not culpable for what goes on after. And that one just struck me as, because I'm not doing this to try to bring, like I said, any smoke to Kendra G, but that woman wound up unalived in November of 2023, the month after she was supposed to get that settlement, and the person left her in a car in front of the fire station. I said, oh, Lord. Two thoughts ran through my brain. Like that first comment said, somebody came up in there and knew she was getting the settlement. And maybe she got the settlement and they got her. The next thought, that was a powerful person you done accused. That was a powerful person you done accused. Did they get her? Did Claire Matrix get her? So I go and I start looking at all of the articles talking about how the cops are going to continue the investigation, but they didn't want to talk about the condition of the body or the motive. I think it was the motive. It might not have been the motive, but I know it was the condition of the body. But one article said that body was gruesome. Said it sent shockwaves through her community in Arizona. But they made it sound like they was going to just be investigating and investigating. And there's been nothing for 2 years since the month that they found her. It's like they dropped it so quick. I found an Instagram article that spoke on it. And she believes that Claire Matrix is responsible, allegedly. And she says that there is nobody to fight for her children. Hi, Trina Bug 123. She said there's nobody to fight for her children. If this is a real lawsuit, that money still belongs to her. And she had 5 children. And all too often we want to look at people's situations and the things that they go through and make them less than human. That was still a human woman who is no longer here, and there has to be foul play. You're not going to tell me they foul play. And there were 2 articles. I asked my sister, I said, do you think that the cops can go plant evidence of a crime that she committed so that it can make her look worse? Because you know how they want to, when they be unalivings going on by the cops, over the years, you want to just throw the person's past into things that they did. Oh, he smoked weed. Oh, he did this. Oh, he did that, to try and discredit a person and make them look less than. It was an article that said that she had run from the cops. She wound up hitting the cop with her car door, but the cop didn't get hurt as she was fleeing off. And the cop wound up, this is prior to her, this was 2018. It was 2 articles in the midst of everything talking about her death. And it just felt so odd to me. It felt so very odd that those 2 articles were sitting there. It felt like planted evidence. Because if we're talking about the director in a detox center, we talking about money. We talk that's government. I know this was 2 years ago, but Kendra show, it popped up on my timeline, and so I watched it, and now I'm talking about it because that young lady on Instagram is adamant that somebody got something to do with that young lady. It's so odd. She shows up on Kendra G in March of 2023. She is supposed to be getting a settlement and having her court date for her children in October of 2023. She ends up unalived in her car in front of the fire station in November of 2023. And you diligent Apple Valley police officers just dropped the ball. If it's some underhandedness going on, what public folk gonna come out and talk about it? Who knows? Who knows? So I hope that if there's somebody out there that's on her team, that they come forth. Because I believe that them babies is supposed to get that money if the case was for real. Because now the money is just up in limbo. And I'm going to say, because she was living in her car, she didn't have family to fight for her. Who going to fight for her? But that's all I got, y'all. I sure appreciate y'all for coming to set with me a spell. We done talked about the mama who felt like it was all right for her to be flipping the script. Because her baby done got out there and got them 65 years, and you ain't showing no accountability, therefore he not showing no accountability. We done talked about Granny spraying them babies with that bear mace. We done talked about the worst mama of the year who got her baby to fight, her 10-year-old baby to fight her battles and take a pow-pow out of her purse and pow-pow a person until they were unalived. We done talked about them white passing people. And we just hit up on we ain't really talk about the $1 trillion, but we did hit on the B. Simone and the Pastor Mike saying that they choose the $1 trillion because what the word was talking about is the extremely rich and the extremely poor. How they are two sides of the same coin. How there is more similarity in them than not. Hello, beautiful. The balanced is going to choose the middle. That word said that we are going to really believe that we can endure the sufferings that come along with being extremely wealthy. You know how we be saying, if I had money, I would do that. I would be right there and good. But having money, they is this and they is that. Like you would know how to handle it a little better. All I'm going to say, beautiful, is be careful what you ask for. Because the extremely rich and the extremely poor have at least one thing in common. They can be very, very flawed in their character. Beautiful. Get your character right. The Most High God will give you just enough. Don't be greedy. Greedy can cause hardiness. And too much poverty can cause you to lose your soul. Sylvie loves you, beautiful. And she is